Hey, Osrolo coming at you from Gen 10 Den with the Iron Shirk. What's going on, Shirk?
Not too much. I'm just listening to our theme song there, but like the girl says, "Do you want to grab something?" Why don't you ever ask me if I want to grab something?
I don't know you like that.
Well, we've been doing this podcast for a long time.
Well, you have to buy me dinner first.
All right, fine.
So
I just want to tell our viewers tonight's podcast is sponsored by White Claw. Thank you so much for the 12-pack.
they're great for suburban dads everywhere.
That's right. I'm turning into a cooler guy, I think. Slowly, but I'm becoming one.
I hate to say it, but I'm also becoming one of these people that drink those seltzer water with alcohol things, aka White Claw. I'm becoming one of those guys.
What is happening to us? What happened to our lives?
I remember there was a day where I would make fun of people like me, but I have become what I hated the most.
It happens to all of us.
All of us eventually turn into the X app. Anyways, so the other day I was trying to fix something, and I was like, God, you know what? I could use a pen. Yeah, a pen could fix this because a pen has a spring. So I went and tried to find a pen and I found a spring in it. And as it turns out, it worked. And I was like, why would I think to do that? I used to watch a show in the 80s called MacGyver.
I thought it was going to be one day at a time.
Oh, damn. Well, yeah, that's the one too. Yeah, I learned a lot of things from one day at a time as well. And I think I probably learned everything I know. I learned from like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So I was like, dude, I bet you everybody else watched all this funny stuff, and I was like, I bet you Shirk watched all the craziest stuff that I did. Did you watch MacGyver?
I did watch some MacGyver. It wasn't like, my number one show. But was MacGyver, was that a comedy?
It was comedic the way he came up with things, but I wouldn't call it a comedy.
No, I thought it fell more into like the Quantum Leap Magnum PI genre.
Yeah, I'd say so. That's
those like for me, Magnum PI, Quantum Leap, but the best fucking one of that genre was Simon and Simon, baby.
Simon and Simon, that was good.
Yeah, it was.
Oh no, it was really good, man. Yes,
like one of the most underrated shows of all time, for sure.
I'd have to say that you'd win in a bar trivia if it ever came up and like, what were these guys called? Right?
Yeah,
you'd win that.
Rick and AJ, is that right?
I'm horrible with names. You could have said
I haven't thought about this show in years, but I'm feeling Rick and AJ. I don't know.
I'll look it up and I'll put it in post-production. Right? And you're probably right. You could have said, oh yeah, it was like Statler and Waldorf, and I'd be like, oh yeah, that's right. I'd have been cool. That said though, Tom Selleck in Magnum PI, I do have a soft spot for that show. I do.
I mean that, yeah. Higgins, TC.
I loved the way he used to get mad at Higgins. He'd go, Higgins.
And I guess he was a handsome man.
No, he was, and I legit thought that to be handsome, you needed a mustache.
Which is weird. My dad thought that as well. So.
Oh, damn! Your dad was a stash man, huh?
He was a stash guy my entire life.
Wow. My dad tried to grow a stash, and my mom would not let him do it. Yeah, he thought it was a total 80s thing, right? Yeah. So he tried to grow a stash, and my mom made him shave it. Nice. Like she dragged him to the bathroom and she made him shave it, and she wouldn't leave until she went off. So
My dad in the 70s was the best. In the 70s was the best because like he like evolved into a stash guy. But if you see like the beginnings, he was not just a stash guy. He was like a giant, massive sideburns guy where they like fucking come out like way out,
mutton chops.
Yeah,
mutton chops, right?
he was that just like random pieces of facial hair going on. So it was like more like in the 80s where like late 70s, early 80s became just a classic stash guy. But like some of the pictures of my dad in the 70s, he looks like the coolest motherfucker of all time.
Oh, dude, why do people in the 70s look like the coolest dudes you will ever see in your life? Why is that?
I don't know. Because they were, I think. I think the 70s are the best time to be alive. So
probably. You're probably right. I thought it might have been the 80s, but that's just in my, my lifetime. But I bet you the 70s were probably the best.
I think the 70s would have just rocked.
Yeah, you could have just like drove all those cool cars everywhere. So speaking of handsome, for whatever reason, I always thought you had to be not only have a stash, but you'd have to be a smoker to be cool. Yeah. And I always thought the dude, the Bionic Man, was like a super handsome guy.
The Bionic Man. Ooh,
he also played the Fall Guy. Steve Austin, I think was his name.
Okay.
Steve Austin. Okay. That could be the character from the show. I'm not exactly sure. Did you ever watch the Fall Guy?
I would say I probably have seen it, but it was not, it was not high on my radar.
I think Heather Locklear? Is that a name?
Yeah. I mean, if she was on there, then I'm surprised I didn't watch her. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, I think she was like 16 years old on that show. Back then,
so was I. So it was fine, people. It was fine.
Yeah, it was fine back then.
I was also 16. It's not weird.
Yeah, you were probably like 6, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, don't come at me
somewhere. Oh man, dude! Like, I liked that look. I thought it was dope. What show I used to like cop shows actually.
Okay, yeah.
I used to watch, and like I was in Miami, California, and used to watch the Chips, the California Highway State Patrol.
I watched Chips. Yeah, I watched Chips.
And it had the only Latino in Hollywood.
Is that Eric Estrada?
Eric Estrada. So I felt inclusive, like I too could be a Chips officer. When I saw myself on the screen like that.
What about were you a Knight Rider guy?
Hello, Michael. Dude, I loved Knight Rider. Man,
you got this on lockdown. I wouldn't have known that. Wow.
Yeah, I loved Michael Knight. Dude, I loved David Hasselhoff. And he was beloved in the 80s and 90s. And it wasn't only until the 2000s we found out he was a drunk guy on the floor eating cheeseburgers. We didn't know
he was
that.
Also a beloved singer in Germany.
Still probably. He doesn't have to pay for a Stein.
Any Tuborg is free.
Yeah, any Das Boot is his for sure. Pardon me. Why was that guy the most awesome guy on the planet for 2 decades? He played Michael Knight, and he played, I don't know his name. What was his name on Baywatch?
On Baywatch? Oh, I don't know.
I mean, we didn't. Okay, let's be honest. We didn't watch Baywatch for him, but he was on there.
He was.
He was the show allegedly was
I
sent
hear
to
rumors
the,
that he was.
though it could be a passing rumor because I barely remember him on there. I did remember Pamela Anderson, surprisingly. She was also
That's ringing a bell. That's ringing a bell. Yeah.
yeah. And I remember a supposed poster of her too hanging in my room also. It might have been her, I don't know.
Who
Go ahead.
do you remember posters you had of women in your bedroom when you were like in high school?
In high school, Pamela Anderson, the Saved by the Bell girl, the one who went on to do the that one stripper movie,
Showgirls? Oh,
Showgirls.
Elizabeth Berkeley, is that her name?
Yeah, that's it. Her.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's a rocket. Yeah.
But you know, what we had, it was odd in the 80s. We had that famous 70s poster of Farrah Fawcett.
Okay.
Yeah, we had that. It was in it was like in a storage locker we had on our backyard. So like I knew that poster, what that poster was. Are you familiar with that famous Farrah Fawcett poster from the 70s?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Yeah. That was it. That was the only girl posters I had. What about you?
Well, there's one that I remember because I remember there was a girl and her name was like Mandy Smith. And she was like, I don't think she was actually like did anything. I think she was just like famous for being a super hot girl that
Okay.
did posters. But then she ended up like marrying one of the dudes from the Rolling Stones. And it was like, she's like 19 and he's, 68 or whatever, like some insane age gap or whatever. Like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't that much at the time, but maybe he was in his 50s. But like, yeah, that's the one that like I had a bunch, obviously, but that's like I had a giant poster of her, and like I didn't even know who she was. She was just a rocket. That's all.
But she was known in Canada. I remember we had it. One of your fellow Canadians that we had on the show, Allie, knew who she was.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah, I knew she knew who she was. That guy on the Rolling Stones, who was it?
I think it was Bill Wyman. I think.
And he pulled a supermodel at that age.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Dude, I mean, dude's got a lot of cash, so I'm not
Okay. Well,
trying to, I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying.
okay. Are you saying that there are some ladies out there that would consider going out with an older gentleman of his age because he's rich and not just doesn't have a good personality? Is that what you're saying?
I did not say that.
Oh wow. So that was it. That was it for you. That's the only
Yeah,
lady.
that was like, well, I mean, I had others, but that's the one that I distinctly
Mhm.
remember. I mean, I had, like I had my crushes, Alyssa Milano, Nicole Eggert, those are my two favorites. But I mean, that's the poster that I remember in my bedroom. Yeah.
I think for our age, everybody had a crush on Alyssa Milano.
Yeah. But I mean, with good reason. But Nicole Eggert, man, she was the goddess.
No, I mean, like,
Also, like probably 14, but again, I was 12, so it's fine.
back then. So she was on Who's the Boss with Tony Danza.
She was, yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's when I first saw her, and I don't know how she maintained her famous celebrity status, I guess, all these years, because I don't think she didn't do anything until
I don't think she did shit after, but she was so iconic from the 80s that once you do that, you don't need to do anything else.
No, she did a show in the 90s.
Did
It
she?
was her. Okay, look, it was her. It was the girl from 90210, the one who left,
Shannon
Dylan-
Doherty.
Shannon Doherty,
Mhm.
and somebody else. Like,
Oh, was it like a witches kind of thing or something?
yeah. What was that
Oh
show?
yeah, fuck.
That's kind of
Charmed.
Is that it? That sounds right. That sounds right.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm-
Yeah, I don't remember Alyssa Milano. I didn't know. I guess. Yeah, I guess she was on it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, it was. Yeah, it was.
Nice.
But like Shannon Doherty,
Yeah.
I think left again
Mm.
because that's what she does.
I just when I was in LA, I I got one of those star maps or whatever, and I drove by Shannon Doherty's house. I swear to God.
Was she
True
like
story.
drunk on the grass? Drunk on the
She was-
grass or whatever.
I wish she was. I didn't see her. I didn't see anybody. But I went by her house.
You didn't go by OJ's house, did you?
go.
Hey guys, let's go over the Juice's house.
No.
Hey Juice.
What's up?
Oh boy.
Well, I did get some pictures outside the Playboy Mansion, though, at the gate. They didn't let me in, but
no swimming in the grotto for you, young man.
no swimming in the grotto. No, but I did. I got the pictures outside. I think Halle Berry's house, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure
That's a
outside the place.
very beautiful woman.
Oh,
I
she's
think I believe she just. I don't know. She's. I find her elegant. I didn't.
She's
I just-
stunning. She's stunning. And
Yeah.
she still looks incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's elegant, and then, I don't know. Just the word that comes out for me when I think about her. Also that one scene that she had, the scene, in that one movie where she makes love to that dude. I don't remember anything but about that movie. I don't even remember the name. And it's like I watched it yesterday. It's because of how well it was acted.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of
Mhm.
course. What else could it be?
Yeah. No, and nothing else, of course.
We appreciate on Gen 10 Den, we appreciate a fine delivery of lines. We appreciate,
Art.
people like really getting into character. These are things that we value on this show.
Oops. I did it again. Oh man. She was, speaking of oops, I did it again. Britney Spears was one of those people from that area that was a universal crush for people,
Of course, yeah.
right?
But I mean, to be honest with you, I like some of the other ones better. Like Britney was fine. Like I think I preferred Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, I was a Christina guy. Like
Yeah,
everyone always compared the two, like Christina and Britney, but I was a Christina guy.
yeah, me too.
Not that Britney wasn't amazing back then or anything.
Oh yeah, Britney, of course. There's no hate to Britney. She's beautiful.
It's Britney, bitch.
Yeah.
But I was a Christina guy too. What about like Mandy Moore or Jessica Simpson?
Oh boy, that Dukes of Hazzard movie that she was in. God. Speaking of Dukes of Hazzard, Daisy Dukes came from the Dukes of Hazzard. Did you used to watch that show?
I did, like, not like super regularly, but I did watch it. Yeah, like super when I was very young. Definitely.
I used to watch it all the time. Anytime it came on, my brother and I would be like, "That's a Dukes of Hazzard." We used to like Bo and Luke Duke.
John
Bo and
Schneider.
Boss Hogg, who was the villain.
He's the cop, right?
Yeah, well, he was the He was like the mayor or something.
The mayor. Okay.
Yeah, and he had his sheriff who was Roscoe Pico.
Roscoe Pico Train. That's right.
Oh man, that guy, dude. I love that show, man. But I did love Daisy Duke because Daisy Duke is Daisy Duke wearing Daisy Dukes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where it all came from, that famous song of the 90s. So I guess I wonder if that stayed. Does that have staying power, saying Daisy Dukes? If I said that to a Gen Zer, would they know?
No, they're gonna have no idea what you're talking about.
I wonder what would they wouldn't even call it jorts, would they? What would they call it?
Oh, they're gonna have some dumbass fucking word for it.
I know they'd call it inappropriate.
You should not be talking about women's attire in such a fashion.
Yes, I agree. You know what? I take everything I said back. I don't. Shirk,
Yeah.
what do you think Steve thinks about Daisy Dukes?
Let
I love that.
Okay, we got his opinion. I agree, Steve. I agree.
we at Gen 10 Den support Daisy Dukes.
We do. If you wear Daisy Dukes, send us a picture directly to at the Iron Shirk on Twitter. His
This is
DMs
officially the horniest episode of Gen 10 Den.
that we've ever had. Oh, are we going to talk about porn spoofs again? I think one of your favorites was 12 Horny Men. Oh boy. Anyways, why did I love this show? And I swear it's probably my most beloved show of the 80s.
Okay.
And it was the A-Team.
The A-Team. Yep. I was an A-Team guy. Yep.
Okay, so my parents, my family really, like, they used to love to play bingo at night. And, you know, bingo, you can win money at bingo. And they won all the time, actually. But they would go at night, and my mom said, you better go to sleep at 8. Okay. But I think the A-Team came on at 9. So like, and bingo ended like at 9:45 or at 10. So sometimes like we'd just finish watching the A-Team and we're going to hear them unlocking the door. And my brother and I would go, oh no. So we would turn off the TV in Spanish and then run
and scurry off to your rooms.
Yeah, scurry off to our rooms in Spanish and go to our beds in Spanish. And by the time they got up the stairs, my mom would go directly to our room to see, like, she would just dip her head in there and be like, you sleeping? You know? And, you know, we would just like, pretend, right? We wouldn't say anything or anything like that.
Of course.
But it was always an adventure for us to stay up. Eventually my mom didn't care, but like, the A-Team was early 80s. So I mean,
I feel like that was like 83, maybe somewhere in there.
Yeah, maybe 83, 84, 85, somewhere around there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a big time A-Team guy too. But I actually did not have any sort of parental restrictions. Like my parents didn't give a fuck, so I just watched it.
Shout out to Cher's parents in this regard. I mean, it's good for the rest of his life, but I mean, never mind that now.
Yeah. Were you a Family Ties guy?
I enjoyed Family Ties. I did. Which is the one where had Valerie in it? Is that the one that had Valerie?
Valerie always in that. Is that One Day at a Time?
I thought it was that one. But I like whichever show Valerie was in. Help us out, chat. Which is the show that had Valerie in it?
I don't know because it's Family Ties is Alex B. Keaton, but what's his sister's name?
Yeah, I thought that was her.
Valerie? Is that
Maybe
her
it
name?
was her. I don't know.
Justine Bateman. Justine Bateman. Okay, here. Sorry.
I think we do have to look this one up.
Sorry,
This is one.
podcasters, but we're gonna have to Google this. So just give us a second here.
In the meanwhile, we'll put one of these on.
Okay, I got it. This was the problem. You were going Valerie, but it's actually Mallory.
Oh, you're
So that's where we got confused.
You're
It's
right.
Mallory.
I think- Oh my gosh. I didn't. Wow. Could this be one of those Mandela effects?
It could be.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we found a new
Mandela effect.
here on
On
Jensen.
Jensen.
Then you were here to experience it.
This is exciting. We
I think-
always appreciate a new Mandela effect.
I think we're going to make the news. This is our big break. We made it. I don't know what that means, but we made it.
Okay, so you like Mallory.
Yeah. But you know who had the hottest babes on the show? The Facts of Life.
That is true.
Blair and Tootie for me.
Blair and Tootie, yeah.
Blair, Tootie, and then I forget what her name was.
Who were the other two?
the one who was like, she was kind of like a tomboy.
Who was the brunette?
I think I hear music coming on.
I remember her real name. I just don't remember her name on the show. Natalie and Joe.
Joe, that's right. She had like a dude's name, but like not really.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, poor Natalie. She didn't even get mentioned. She didn't even get an honorable mention. Poor Natalie.
Yeah.
Wow. But am I lying though? Yeah, they had some cute ladies on that show.
They did.
Yeah. Tootie was in she in the 90s. She was in like a big Boys to Men video.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And she was like, you know, like in the fighting with her man or whatever, one of the people on. I don't remember what it was. It might have been End of the Road.
Mm-hmm.
But no, man, she's just really, really pretty lady. Tootie.
I feel like the one who played Blair, I feel like I've seen her on Twitter or something, but I could be wrong. But I feel like
Really?
I've seen her like no, that's completely wrong. Do you know but you know what I once again gonna look this up, but you know what she fucking did?
What?
Blair from Facts of Life. You know what she did?
What did Blair do?
I'm just double checking because I think this is right. I think she was on Survivor.
Whoa!
I'm pretty sure.
What?
I'm gonna fact check myself here.
No, you need to like look that up for real.
I think so. Yes, Lisa Welchel, Survivor Wiki. Yes, She contestant profile. Yes, I knew it. I'm like, there's something about her. And at first I was like, oh, she's on Twitter. No. She was a contestant on Survivor, which obviously, if anyone knows me, knows is one of my favorite shows. So yeah, she was on there.
Blair, wow, both of them
Blair
are
was on Survivor.
yeah, both of them were on TV. They continued on with their careers. Wow. One of the shows then it just jump started Tom Hanks' career was the one I can't remember the name of the show, so I'm going to toss it out to you because you probably know.
Oh, is this with his bosom buddies? I don't know that.
Bosom buddies. There you go. You already knew.
I don't know.
You already knew.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Never seen it.
No? Okay, so the premise was they couldn't find cheap housing. Right, they got kicked out and they couldn't find cheap housing. So they found a good place, but it was for women only. So they would have to dress up like women in order to live there.
Yeah.
And so hijinks ensued.
Well, this sounds eerily reminiscent of one of the classic shows of that era.
Shout out to the GOAT, Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire.
Well, that's not what I'm talking about, but
Oh, what?
shows, not movies, shows. I'm saying this sounds eerily reminiscent of Three's Company.
Three's Company. Is that why Jack lived with those both girls?
Because didn't he have to pretend he was gay or something?
No, okay. He had to pretend he was gay because the landlord wouldn't let him stay there.
I mean, it's kind of a similar show, you know.
What
setting.
was the landlord's name?
There was Mr. Furley.
That's it.
And there was another one, Mr. Roper. Mr. Roper.
Mr. Furley and Mr. Roper. Shout out to Shirk, man. He knows.
Yeah, man. I think I also had a little bit of a crush on Suzanne Summers. But
dude, wow, man. I mean, come on. She was an amazing lady. So yeah, you know. I think she left the show because she demanded more money and they wouldn't pay her. I think that's what the history behind that was.
That seems criminal. She deserves it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's no more.
Remember Larry?
Okay. I love Larry. Larry's the best. Yeah. Okay, here's a deep cut. Do you remember the Regal Beagle?
The Regal Beagle, yes, I do. Of course.
There you go. Oh my God. So for whatever reason, that name stuck in my mind. And sometimes throughout my adventuring career, when people ask, hey, where do you want to go? I'll just randomly say, let's go to the Regal Beagle.
The Regal Beagle.
I don't know why, man. I love that place, dude. We were speaking about alien life forms before the show started.
Yeah. And
there was one particular alien life form that invaded sitcoms around the country.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Alf. Did you watch Alf?
Okay, so this is funny because in the 80s when Alf was out, I did not watch Alf. But very recently, my former relationship, she was huge into like 80s and 90s sitcoms, and I was exposed to numerous episodes of Alf within the last 3 to 4 years. So yeah,
things you have to do to maintain a healthy relationship.
That's right. You gotta watch Alf and Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh, that was fun. That was funny though, dude.
That show sucks.
There's no okay. I enjoyed that show, even though I didn't watch all of them. But there was this one where I forget his name, but he's the lead actor in that show. He was from Harry and Henderson's.
Oh, John
John?
Lithgow.
Lithgow.
Yeah.
He wore like some tight leather jean or leather pants. And like he was barely walking. He was doing physical comedy. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That's why I remember that show.
Yeah.
Um comedy.
No, so yes, I have seen some Alf, but like very recently. So it probably didn't strike the same chord it would have if I was like 14.
Yeah, when you were youngin. Although that probably came out when we were like 10 or something.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a really long time ago, man. Yeah, really, really long time ago. That might even be as old as New Coke, actually.
That's old.
There was propaganda for that show that stuck with my brain. Before it came out, they used to have like him coming out and say like 81 days till Elf. And there was a countdown until it appeared. And so my brother and I made sure not to miss it because we were like wondering, what is this countdown about? What is this show, right?
You're conditioned.
You know what we didn't talk about? What was the most popular show in the 80s that kind of changed the game? We didn't even mention it.
Cheers.
That's up there. That's your damn good.
Well, that's the right answer. That was
Everybody knows your name.
I mean, that is, but that's not the answer you were looking for. So,
what's the next line? What's the next line?
And everybody's glad you came.
You want to go where people know.
People are all the same.
You want to go where
everybody knows your name.
Norm. That show. Oh man, I love that.
How's it hanging, man?
He had those crazy one-liners when he came in to the. So, oh yeah, I mean, I liked Cliff Clavin. I did. I really enjoyed. Yeah, I think I liked everybody on that show. I can't.
Yeah, there's Woody.
Woody was on there. I was sad when Coach died.
I was too, but I was honestly more of a Woody guy. So
yeah, no, Woody was.
I wasn't that sad. Remember, who was the guy that was like, Woody, I'm going to steal your girlfriend. I'm going to steal your girlfriend.
Right. Who was that? That was awesome, man. Oh, dude, I did a rewatch of Cheers in the last 3 years, I think. Yeah. Wow, man. I have to admit though, look.
Okay.
Diane.
Yeah.
Diane episodes were the best. Like when she was there, as good as it was, even after she left, dude, those episodes were the best. I think. She had.
Was in the Diane episodes was Frasier? Frasier was a part of that, right?
Yeah. That's how he was introduced. He was Frasier's was his boyfriend.
Nice. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. After they split, it was his boy, and wow, he looked so young.
Yeah.
He was young. He was like incredibly young, right? Like wow. But what's her name? Her real life?
Shelley Long.
Okay. I'm gonna give props to her because people thought that she made a mistake by leaving there, right? But they weren't. She knew her worth, and they didn't pay her worth. She left. She made movies, and she got paid. They may have not been.
What did she do though? She didn't do anything.
But she got paid for it. Yeah, she got mad paid. She got paid for The Money Pit with Tom Hanks. Okay. She got paid with Beverly Hills, like Scout Leader or something. Beverly Hills Troop, I think it was called. Beverly Hills Troop, I think.
Beverly Hills Troop. Oh yeah, that classic. Everyone knows that movie.
She may have not hit that kind of
Uh,
stardom, but dude, she made a lot of money for being the protagonist of those movies. So like, she took a stand, dude. Like, she wanted to get paid more. She got into movies, bro, and she eventually came back for the finale. To her credit, you know, like, she didn't hold a grudge or anything. Like, she just came back. Like, she was cool.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna take a different. Okay, so here at Gen 10 Dan, we don't always agree. So I'm gonna take a different stance, which is that she left a show where she had an iconic role to do a bunch of shitty movies for money and like actually sabotaged her own career because like nobody remembers anything she did aside from Cheers now. Like there's not a single fucking role in her entire career that anyone gives a shit about because it was all terrible. So like
that's how it ended up. It ended up, but
okay, so she made a bunch of money, but fuck.
yeah,
Like her
she made
career
she,
is,
she made her money, and no risk, no reward.
so what you're saying is life is all about just grabbing that bag.
No,
That's
no
the
risk, no
Rolo like creed of life is just
or
get that
everything you
bag.
want is right outside your comfort zone. If she stayed there, she would have never known, like, if she could make it. And
Yeah, and she couldn't, so she should have
she
stayed
didn't
there.
make it. She didn't make it, but she made her money, I guess. You know,
Get
she
that
took the
bag.
risk. Yeah, yeah, I have to give props to people who like took a risk, and said, you know
That's
what,
fine.
I'm comfort
That's
here, but
fine.
yeah,
I think like I give props to people who have enough self-awareness to recognize that they're in an incredible situation and to just like roll with it.
perhaps if that show sucked afterwards, I would probably have a different opinion. But it was good afterwards. He was still good.
No, it was, yeah. Kirstie
Yeah.
Alley did a fine job. She was like a fine replacement.
Yeah, they had a lot of. She was funny in a different way, you know. So that was, you know, it worked out. It worked out. I don't know if it worked out for the best. We'll never know. But
We will never know because
those three
but we've got the money pit, so
we do, and Beverly Hills Troops.
Beverly Hills Troops, yes. That
Troop-
again, that cinematic masterpiece that everyone has definitely heard of.
Yeah, everybody talks about Godfather, Beverly Hills Troops. It could be Trooper. It's right up there, you know. You know, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's just right up.
it's
It's
right
up
up there.
there, man.
Yeah, it's in the same sphere.
Yeah, yeah. S tier. um,
But when I said Cheers, you were actually going for a different show. So I'm
Yeah.
curious what show you were like you had in mind.
dude, in terms of success, it's I think it's probably the most successful show of the 80s, but nobody ever talks about it because that show was the Cosby Show.
The Cosby Show. Oh yeah, yeah. Why don't we talk about it?
I don't know. Something happened with Jello pudding, I think.
It's like how we don't talk about how the best running back of all time for the Buffalo Bills was OJ Simpson. Is it kind of the same thing?
Yeah, probably, I'd say. Even though you were excited to go to the Juice's house. Juice, it's me, Shirk from Canada. I'm a Bills fan.
Oh man.
We love you, Juice.
Yeah, he's got some good videos.
I talk shit, but he's also a Niner fan. So he's also a Niner player. He was a Niner for like his last year or something like that. Something to that effect.
Okay, so the Cosby Show.
Yeah, nobody talks
Talk
about
about
it because of that. But if you take away what happened with Cosby, that show, man, that really was number one forever. And it was, dude, it just took over primetime, dude. Thursday was theirs, period. You know? And it launched a lot of other shows too. They used Cosby to launch a whole bunch of stuff, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's unfortunate though, because it really was an awesome show, man. I admit I watched the Cosby Show. I watched all of it.
There's no shame in that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it really did.
like would have been. Am I supposed to be ashamed because I watched The Usual Suspects because Kevin Spacey's a predator or whatever? No, it's a fucking great movie. People like get over it.
Actually, I think this is the first time you've been canceled since we started the show. You guys heard it here first. Cher gets canceled because he defended Kevin Spacey. What is
I
it called?
defended his acting.
He's trying to separate
Hate the artist. That's right. Separate the artist from the art.
That is
Cosby
trying,
show
but we
was
know,
fine.
but we know
Cosby
that
himself is not fine, but the show
Yep.
was fine.
he actually just changed his Shirk actually just changed his handle from the Iron Shirk to the Iron Groomer. Yeah, you want to spice things up now that it's the X app and not Twitter. Just change things. Get more exciting, give it more edge. I did love that movie though. I have a friend
Yeah.
whose mom would always ruin shows and movies for him all the time. And I think that was one of those when he told me like, "Hey mom, I'm gonna go watch The Usual Suspects." Oh yeah, it was weird how Kevin Spacey, and here's spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it. Yeah, spoilers, ended up being the Rollo Tomasi. Was that it?
Kaiser Soze.
Kaiser Soze, that's what it was. Who
Roland Tomasi?
was
What
Rollo
is that?
Tomasi in that show?
I
Who was
don't
Rollo
know.
Tomasi?
I don't know.
No,
man.
that has to do with that show, that movie. Who was Rollo Tomasi?
I don't know. It's been
Okay.
a long time since I've seen it, but
I think we need some music. Let's look that up. Okay, never mind. He was from
Oh.
LA Confidential.
okay. All right. Listen,
just,
Kevin Spacey's been in The Usual Suspects. He's been in Seven. That show he did on Netflix, House of Cards, was really good. Like,
It was good, but I stopped
okay,
watching.
listen, he's a piece of shit, but he's done some good shit. And I'm not going to pretend like it wasn't good, just like we're not going to pretend like the Cosby Show wasn't a good show, even though Bill Cosby himself is a piece of shit. That's just how we roll.
You're talking about people should separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, they always should.
That's a good topic for one of our shows there, Groomer.
Yeah.
So so that was the 80s. Okay. We touched base with the 90s with Baywatch. Is there one honorable mention before we end this?
One honorable mention? For what? For which decade are you referring to? Like, we have, like, if we were talking about the 90s, we never talked about Seinfeld, which is like, you've never seen Seinfeld, and it's obvious. Like, that is actually the most iconic show,
Well,
and you've never seen it. So
let's continue. Let's continue then. Okay, so here's my story with Seinfeld. I think it came on a night with shows like Martin and those type of comedies, and I just didn't watch it at all. I've seen.
you didn't watch white people shows.
No. I'm not racist, but I'm also. But I also do watch a lot of Univision, so Telemundo. So, maybe some of that humor was lost on me, but I did watch The Soup Nazi.
Yes.
I did watch The Grassy Knoll.
Great episode. Yeah.
Yeah, and one
the
that I can't.
The second spitter.
Yeah, that's the one with that baseball player,
That's with
right?
Keith Hernandez. Yes.
Yeah, Keith Hernandez. Okay. Um, I don't. I so happened to catch the original airing of those two shows.
Yeah.
Um, but I know I watched the third one, but I cannot remember it. Um, but someone will say it when one day
I
it's
purchased for my ex-girlfriend's birthday, I purchased a cameo from the Soup Nazi.
you showed it to me once. I remember. Yeah, that was cool.
And then we were in New York City and we went to like the soup place that he was based off of. Yeah, we went
Oh,
there.
you actually went?
Yeah, we went there. Yeah. And like got soup. We literally did. Yeah.
I bet
His
you hope
pictures on the wall. Like it's just based off it. Like he didn't, but his pictures on the wall and yeah, you order your soup there. Yeah, it was awesome.
when I went to New York City, I went to that Cat's Deli where
I've been there
what's
twice.
Mick,
3 times.
dang, it's when Harry met Sally.
Yeah. They
It
got
was
a
in that
sign right over the table that they sat at.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I did that one, and their sandwiches are good.
Oh, dude, it's like
Man,
it's worth it. It is one of the best sandwiches. Actually,
There's
it might
nothing
be the best
comparable.
sandwich I've ever had.
Yeah, there's nothing comparable to that. Like you have to go to like have these guys
Yeah.
prepare. So
And you wait in this long ass line, but it's so worth it. It's like one of the few places that really truly lives up to the hype. Like it's great.
this is actually a quick little story. So I went there. One of the times I went to New York was with my cousin, her husband, and her husband's friend Eric, and we all went to go watch the Giants play the Yankees, and I think the Giants play the Mets. Right?
Mhm.
We just all went, and so we get inside there, and this is a big difference between California and New York, right? Because in California, it's everyone's like really nice to you, like, but in New York, it's not. It's not like that. they're, I won't say they're mean. I'll say they're curt. They're frank, you know. And so we go to Cat's Deli, and it's not like a regular line, really. When at least when I was there, it's like you kind of group. You kind of like have a group. Next group goes forward or whatever. You kind of just get in where you can get in, and so it's my turn to order my sandwich, right? And I was with my cousin, and so Eric says, "Hey, ask him if the pastrami has this and that, and what does he recommend?" And like the guy, the New Yorker, was cutting. He goes like, "Hey, you know that guy, right?" And
Yeah.
and my cousin, he was so direct, and she's like so not used to people being so direct. She goes, no," like she just froze. And she goes, "Hey, you, buddy, get out of here." Oh, no. He goes, "Get the fuck out of here." He actually said, right? And
Wow.
Eric turned fucking red. He was hella fucking embarrassed.
Oh my god.
But that's like such a California attitude. Oh, what's in the pastrami? What's it like? What's the recommendation? It's so
And
California.
there's like 100 people waiting in line.
Yeah.
It's like,
He was like, "Hey,
there's
you,
another
buddy."
200 people outside the restaurant waiting just to get in line inside the restaurant.
Yeah. So he was so fucking embarrassed, dude. Oh my god, bro. Like you see some people turn fucking red. This dude turned red, and he didn't want to, like, so he like waited extra long to get his sandwich until somebody else would like was doing it on the side there, you know. But anyways, going back to Seinfeld.
That's a good scenario.
Yeah. Oh, now I remember the third episode I watched.
Mhm.
Costanza, is that the bald guy?
Yes.
Okay. He slept with Marsha Brady, I think. Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, there was an episode where he like hooked up with Marsha Brady, like, and then like it was a thing.
I thought it was Marissa Tomei.
No, I don't know. Maybe I'm
I
wrong.
think he
thought it was
did.
Marsha
But
Brady. I think we need some music. What do you say, sure?
I don't know, man. I'm not getting any results for Marsha Brady here, but he did date Marissa Tomei on the show. So
So that's going to take further research.
okay.
I guess Marissa Tomei, but I could have sworn it was that. But you know what? I wasn't a fan of the show.
That's okay.
I don't say it's bad. I just did. It just so happened to like I
Fine.
watched other shows, and
It's white,
so
it's white people. White people.
well, you know what it is I didn't see myself represented on the screen, so I didn't. I couldn't relate. I couldn't relate to anyone on there. Which leads me to the next subject, which is or topic or show, which is Friends, which is another one I couldn't relate to at all.
I was not a big Friends guy, so you know.
So Friends also came on a night where I used to watch something else, and I just will watch something else, and it just my friends will talk about it, and you know, like, but I didn't, but not my close friends, but like, you know, acquaintances, right? I know every show was called the show about something, because that's how my acquaintances would discuss it. Hey, did you see the show about? And
The
that's
one
like
about yeah.
oh yeah, something like that, right? The one about whatever, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I should probably rewatch it for pop culture's sake. But
I'd rather like I don't know. I'd rather brainwash myself with propaganda than have to watch Friends.
you'd rather watch political propaganda than watching Friends.
I'd rather watch neither. Like there's no chance I would ever rewatch Friends. I didn't watch it, but like
Oh.
to have to rewatch it, oh, that'd be a nightmare.
I
It
did watch
seems
some
so
parts of
fucking
it.
annoying and dated. What?
I seen some scenes, and I know the acting's bad, but maybe that's part of the charm.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. That's the thing. Like, it's not like a bad show. I'm not saying it's bad. Let's be clear. But it's just like, it's fine. It's not great. Like, it's just like so fucking blah.
Oh, I think we made some enemies here at the show.
Yeah.
It's really, really popular, man, especially among the girls, dude. They love that show.
Listen, man, I'm telling you, I told you this before we recorded, but what, like, once you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, like you're never am I gonna watch a show like Friends and be like, oh, this is good. No, it sucks. Like Curb is fucking great. Now this is newer than the shows that we're talking about.
Yeah,
a little bit. But it started still in like the early 2000s. Like it's not that much newer. And it is like so much better than any of these other fucking shows that it's just not even, there's no point in watching that anymore.
Are you saying that this Curb the Enthusiasm is better Friends than all these other new comedies, like The Big Bang Theory? Are you saying it's better?
Well, better than The Big Bang Theory. I don't know. That's
Bazinga! Are you saying it's better than Young Sheldon?
Young Sheldon. Ooh, I don't know if I could say that, but it's pretty good.
Yes. Some bold claims there, young man. The 90s, though. You know what's weird about 90s? One of the biggest shows that I used to watch, but it wasn't prime time.
What?
It was Saved by the Bell.
Okay, yeah. Again, I mean, I watched like I was a fan of the women on that show.
I think both men and women had crushes on
Yeah.
everybody there, except for oh boy, unfortunately.
You want to know my funny Saved by the Bell story though?
Yeah, I was about to say-
I've been to 2 gun ranges in my life, both times in Las Vegas.
uh-huh.
And one time I was there, like, because you get to pick out the poster of the person that you shoot
Yeah.
when you're at the gun range. And one time it was some like generic terrorist or whatever. But the other time, the person that I shot was fucking Mario Lopez. I swear to God. Yeah.
The guy from Entertainment Tonight.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So
Poor Mario
I got him pretty good too. I got like a couple headshots and I shot him twice right in the nuts.
Yeah, somehow I'm not surprised you're good at
Like,
shooting
I did.
Mexicans.
My shooting was pretty good on Mario. Like there was one shot missed, but like the other, it was like 5 shots. And the other 4, like I got him pretty good.
Oh man, actually required training here in the United States. We all have to shoot Mario Lopez in the butt. Oh, we don't graduate. Yeah, you don't have gun culture there, but unfortunately we do, so we have to do that. Or I should say, fortunately, we do. So we can, if Mario Lopez's ever, or the plural of Mario Lopez's, if Mario Lopi ever attack,
If the Lopi ever approach you,
yeah,
you've
then,
been trained on how to properly shoot them in the balls.
yep, totally true. This is absolute fact. If anybody's listening from out of the country, and if you know any of the Lopi, yeah, you shouldn't come to America. I respected him though. I did. I thought he was cool. He used to turn the chair around, right, and sit on it backwards, like that youth pastor trope,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, he used to like do that all the time. And I thought it was the coolest shit. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I really did think it was the coolest shit. Plus, he always had cute girls and stuff. So
Yeah, he did
um,
well.
he was in that show, the one on FX when it started becoming big, the one with plastic surgery.
Oh, Nip Tuck?
Yeah,
I've never
he was
seen
in-
that. I've never seen that.
Okay. He was in an episode of Nip Tuck, and I think they showed him like naked from behind or whatever.
Mhm.
And the dude was hella ripped and stuff, so it became a thing. You know,
Yeah,
you never saw Nip Tuck? Wow.
I never. No, I heard it was good, but I never seen it.
I saw Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in the 90s.
All right.
I watched wait, what show was that? Oh yeah, I mentioned it earlier. I watched Martin in the 90s. But the classics. What's considered a classic 90s show besides Friends and Seinfeld?
Fresh Prince, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I watched Full House.
Full House. Yeah, that was 80s though.
What was that? 80s?
I think that was 80s. Yeah, that was 80s. That, because you know how we can reference this, because Alanis Morissette sang about Dave Coulier, and that was in the mid 90s, and that was well after like his Full House career.
Okay.
So
And that's true. That's one of those like weird facts about songs.
that is like actually true, people. Like that actually happened.
Sure. Why don't you tell the Gen 10 audience that story?
Well, just like a lot, like some of the songs on Jagged Little Pill, because Alanis dated Dave Coulier, and it's rumored that the going down on you in the theater thing is about him.
Imagine that all that beautiful, amazing music doing that stuff was about a guy who used to be like a puppet master or something, a ventriloquist, right? Oh man.
He was a ventriloquist.
In the show.
Oh, was he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know about real life. But he was also in a dope show in the 2000s called Firefly, but that's something else.
Yeah.
Oh, or maybe it's not. Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe y'all look alike to me because that's a stereotype. All white guys look alike.
It's true.
So I can't think of classic 90s shows besides Friends, Seinfeld. Lost is 2000s. So
Lost is 2000s, yeah. I mean, the like 2000 to 2010 was like a great era for TV. So yeah, 90s shows.
is 90s a down decade for shows? Because 80s we could name them all night, but
yeah.
90s?
What about this one? Was this 90s? I'm not sure. What about that 70s show? Was that 90s or was that 2000s?
No, that's 2000s.
That's 2000s? Okay. Okay. Here, there's Home Improvement.
Oh, okay, that's big.
Which I didn't really watch, but
Married with Children.
Married with Children. Okay, that is. How did we miss that? Come on, man. That's embarrassing.
He's the GOAT. Shout out to the GOAT.
Yeah, that's.
Love and marriage.
Great.
Yeah,
Great.
and I get honorable mention The Simpsons, but that's still ongoing.
And also Frasier. So you got the Cheers.
Yeah, Frasier was 90s.
Yeah,
That's right.
Frasier, yeah.
Was it something in Scrambled Eggs?
Don't know what to do with this tossed salad.
Hey,
and
baby, I hear the
scrambled
blues are
eggs.
calling. Tossed salads and
That's right, that's
scrambled eggs. Quite
Somebody was
stylish.
tweeted about that got blew
And
up.
maybe I seem a bit confused. Yeah, maybe.
Anyways,
but I got you pegged.
yeah, Frasier was
Like there's a lot. Okay, so now I'm looking, and there's a lot of other ones, but I mean, we're hitting some of the you got all these Blossom, Boy Meets World, all this bullshit, but like we've kind of hit like the big ones. Fresh Prince,
those were,
Married with Children,
yeah. For some reason, the 90s ones don't hit like the 80s ones did.
Oh, this is one that I didn't really like either, but I guess was big. Was King of Queens.
I know it. Did I watch it? No.
Oh, Everybody Loves Raymond. Yeah, it's all these. You know what? They kind of suck. Like it was actually, I think it was kind of a shitty era. Like there
Yeah, I
was
wonder-
a lot
We
of
should
those shows.
ask
A lot of those shows are not very good.
Wasn't the 90s a down decade for sitcoms?
I think it was. I think you're right.
Because
Yeah,
when you
you-
compare
like-
it to the 80s, I mean, it's got nothing on the 80s.
I mean, Married with Children was great.
Was Married with Children's late 80s, though.
Was it? I feel like it was 90s. You
I
think?
feel like it was the 90s, but maybe it came out in the late 80s.
I don't know, man. I think let's just see here. You're right. I think it started I think you're right. It started in the late 80s. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Right? It's like one of those ones that just
Yeah.
started there, but got it's a big run in the 90s, right? But it started in the
Well, there's another one that we may be overlooking because we are men.
uh-oh. Now hold on. Before you answer that question,
Yeah.
let me think. Are you talking about Grace Under Fire?
No, I'm not talking about Grace Under Fire. What's the one? What's the fucking show? Is that 90s? What's the one with oh my god. I'm sorry for the dead air people. What's the show with like Sean Hayes and Will and Grace? Was that 90s? Or was that
Will and Grace. Yeah, I think that was 90s, wasn't it?
I don't know. But that's not the one I'm talking about. The one. But again, because you and I are men.
Will and Grace. Let's see. (1998 to 2020). Really?
Okay, so
Oh.
there are two.
For a run.
There are
Try to get
two.
back.
There are two very big shows that started in 1998,
Okay.
and Will and Grace. Okay, yeah, that's one of them. But this other one, was very, very, very popular amongst the ladies.
Grey's Anatomy.
No,
Okay. No, that's late. That's 2000s, right? Okay. Damn, among the ladies.
yeah,
It's popular in the 90s.
set
Dude,
in New York City.
Oh my God. Sex and the City?
That's right.
Right? Oh my God. Dude, yeah, I used to have to watch that.
Of course you did, because you had a girlfriend.
So everybody, dude, yeah. Oh gosh, dude. But they were annoying. What's the? I don't understand what the draw was.
I don't know, man. I think it was pretty good. I think it was a good show.
Oh,
I'm
man.
not gonna pretend that like it wasn't. It was a good show.
So you liked that?
Yeah, I
show?
mean, I haven't watched I've only ever watched it like because of a girl, but I'm not gonna pretend like it's not good. It definitely is.
Are you serious? I can't.
I'm serious. Yeah.
I just remember
serious.
it being like, dude, why do people like her? And what's the deal with this guy, Mr. Biggs or something like? I didn't it like it. It irked me. I think.
It irked you. Why did it irk you?
I don't know why it irked me. But that show. Oh, that's also a Mandela effect, by the way,
How?
because I stuttered when I said Sex and the City because it's a Mandela effect. A lot of people remember it being
Sex in the City?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's what I called it forever. And a lot of people remember it that way. So that's one of the Mandela effects. It's
Hmm.
Sex in the City, but Sex and the City.
Hmm.
So in the other dimension, the other where the Mayan calendar ended, in that timeline, it was Sex in the City.
Hmm.
But in this timeline, it's Sex and the City.
Ah, I see.
Mhm. God, how did we? Yeah, I guess I could see how we missed that. But that is a major oversight.
Yes.
Yeah. So would you say the 90s?
I think the 90s were a down decade. Although the thing is, you can't really say it's a down decade when the like most popular show of all time, or maybe like the one of the best ones, which I'm talking about Seinfeld, was like all 90s. So I guess you can't really, it's like, you can't say it's a down decade. You had like one giant fucking banger and then a bunch of bullshit. Whereas in the 80s, you had more like a fuller roster of shows, but not like one super dominant one. So I think it's just a different dynamic.
No, we spoke about it actually. You're wrong about that. Cosby's show was gigantic.
Ah,
Yeah, it was gigantic. Maybe I mean, yeah, no, like even if you didn't watch it, you even knew, dude, it's gigantic.
I mean, Cheers was bigger than Cosby Show. So
I think the Cosby Show is the most successful show of the 80s.
I don't think so. I think it was Cheers.
Let's look at what the internet says. Let's see. I'm just gonna type the most successful TV show. Should I do of all time first?
No. Do the
Okay.
80s.
Of the 80s. Okay, of the 80s. A video show. Oh my God, how did I miss that one? Wonder Years.
Wonder Years. Oh, and I had such a crush on her. Oh my God.
Winnie, right?
Oh, Winnie.
Exactly
Oh
what you're talking about, dude.
Winnie. Oh.
I mean, come on, dude. I mean,
Wow, how did
we
miss
were of
that?
that age, so it's cool.
How
You
did we
know
miss
what I mean? Um, to end this, Shirk, what's your
Yes.
number one show of all time? And you're going to be wrong, and I'm going to be right. But what's the number one show of all time?
The number one show of all
All
time?
time.
You're
All time.
asking me this?
Yes. You're going to be wrong, and I'm going to be right. You're going to say something
Wow.
stereotypical, something everybody says, but I'm going to give you the right answer.
No, I'm gonna say the number one show of all time is We Have to Go Back! We have to go back! It's fucking Lost. End of discussion.
Okay. Like I said, he's going to be wrong because that was the worst ending of all time. So let me tell you the best show of all time, and everybody else is wrong. Okay? This is the best show of all time. The number one best show of all time is The Muppet Show. Thanks, guys. It was a nice show. If you like what you heard, no. Okay, let's talk about it. The Muppet Show. The best show. It had Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy. It had Luke Skywalker guest starring. It had music. It had Walter and Statler.
Those two dudes in the audience are the best. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Walter and wait, Statler and Waldorf. Statler and Waldorf was on there. Gonzo,
Did they have the drummer?
Animal,
Yeah, Animal. I love Animal. What was
Yep.
his name?
the Dr. Tooth and Electric Mayhem. That was the band, right? That was the band. It had boom 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 Lordy me morg
Is that Beaker?
the Swedish chef.
Beaker,
Right?
isn't it?
Now Beaker was
Beaker was Sesame Street.
Dr. Honeydew's assistant.
Okay.
He was just speaking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So
All right.
everyone always gets it wrong, and they know I'm right. So, guys, if you like content like this, please like and subscribe. If you didn't like content like this, watch the last episode of Lost on repeat. All right, guys. Peace out and ciao. Bye, gang.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good,
It
though.
could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was
Get
terrible.
him away!